Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone, to the second in my Questions on My Mind series. And today I'm talking to Ahimsa Grace on all things astrology. Came across Ahimsa through a mutual friend, Nathan, who is an absolute genius in terms of hypnotherapy and all sorts of deep trauma work. And I recently done a webinar with Ahimsa, and it was on astrology, which I know very little about. And what blew me away was we were trying to get the correct time of my birth, which was needed for this this webinar to kind of work out all the different nodes and things. And I kind of had a guess that it was between sort of 5 and 6 in the morning, but we just couldn't find any confirmation. So Ahimsa just said, well, if you were born at 5, there would be this from your childhood. And I was like, oh my God, yes, all of that is spot on. How did she? Spooky. So that's what got me to thinking this woman knows what she's doing. So, as you know, all things mind, body, soul, I'm interested in. So welcome, Ahimsa.
Thank you.
I know you've got so many different strings to your bow. So towards the end, we'll have a check-in on all the different things that you do. But I was thinking we could just dive straight in with my list of questions that are on my mind. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay. So the first and very basic question is, what is astrology?
So astrology is the art of reading the map of your life. So at the time of your birth, as you know, there was a photograph taken of the sky, and that is the blueprint of your incarnation. It's your life purpose, it's your life lesson, it's your soul personality, which you need the actual time of the birth to be able to figure out. Everything about your life is there. And then once upon a time, hundreds, thousands of years ago, the astrologers, the elders, would have drawn up your map when you were born, presented it to your parents, and told you what your life lesson is, told them what your life purpose is, told them why you're here, what you're here to learn, what your love language is, how you drive forward. They would have known everything about you when you were just a babe in arms, and then they would know how to help you through your life. And it's an art that's been lost over the years for many different reasons. And wouldn't that be wonderful? Imagine if you were born and all of a sudden your parents knew everything and they were raising you in line with your soul personality. My little boy is 6. He's about to have his Saturn square, a big test, March next year. I know this because I've got his star chart. I know his exact time of birth. So in March next year, he's going to have a test, and I know what that test is going to look like. And I'll be able to help him navigate through that and understand what's happening. Isn't that amazing?
Okay, but okay, there are some that would say that to an extent feels like having the answers to the test before you take the test. So it kind of feels inappropriate in a way. Like, if you know all of this, and it's bringing in so many things in my head around destiny and creating your reality versus the whole, we're supposed to come in with amnesia and we're supposed to work through this. So let me just separate those two things. So if you have all of these answers at the beginning, that suggests there's destiny and fate that's leading your life. Where does that saying, you create your own reality, come in?
There's a high road and a low road of every sign. So there's 12 zodiac signs, and each of those is 12 parts of our personality. So you've got Aries, that is our drive. You've got Taurus, that's how we are in the material realm. You've got Gemini, you know, that's our lightheartedness, that's our party animal, if you like. And you've got these 12 different archetypes. You get to choose the high road or the low road. Are you going to express this sign in a healthy way? Are you going to repress this sign? Are you going to overexpress it? I'll give you an example. Aries. If you're a balanced Aries, you've got good boundaries. You're assertive and you're strong. If you repress your Aries, people walk all over you and then you randomly erupt like Vesuvius. If you overexpress your Aries, you're going to be argumentative, you're going to fight with people, and you're going to be downright horrible. It's the hero of the zodiac, but if it's overexpressed, it's impatient and it's mean. So you have a choice of whether you go with the high road and the low road. Now, going back to what you said about having tests in life and you've already got the answers to the test, isn't that the way it's supposed to be? You don't go into school one day and say, oh, by the way, we've not taught you any maths, but you've got a GCSE maths exam at 11 o'clock. Or not even know you're in an exam and then you fail it over and over and over again, because no one gets told when their Saturn test is. They don't know they're going through a Saturn test. I had a breakdown during my Saturn return. I had no idea about Saturn. I didn't know what was happening. So wouldn't it be nice if you were taught your lessons like you are in school, told when you're going to have a test and told what to expect in the test, so that then you get a choice of if you are the high road or the low road of that sign when you are going through this trial?
Okay, so I get school is the equivalent of the study, but you get an exam paper that could have any question relating to what you've studied.
Yeah.
Does astrology work like that? Or...
Yeah, I don't know exactly what my little boy's test will be. So Saturn is our life lesson, and this is the test that I'm talking about. And his Saturn is in Sagittarius. So now I know his life lesson is letting go of dogmatic thinking, letting go of thinking he has all the answers. I know that the transiting Saturn will be going through Pisces. So it's going to be about his emotions. So it's to do with dogma and emotions. It's coming up in March. He's 6. If you know any 6-year-olds, you know he's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do. If he wants to fail this, he is going to fail it. But he's got me holding him there through it and going, there's going to be a test on emotions and dogma, and I'm here with you. And let's navigate this together. And if we don't pass the test, then we'll have a little chat and see how we can go forwards. You'll get another one in 7 years. It's going to be around, what will it be? Gemini, I think. Yeah, Gemini and Sagittarius energies, and then we'll take the test again and see if you pass.
So we all get a test every 7 years?
Roughly, yeah.
And even if we passed it the first time, we're still going to get another test in...
Yeah. Some people ace them. Done. Nathan aced his Saturn return because he knew it was coming. Aced it. And then it happened again, I assume, when he was 37 approximately, just like it does for all of us.
Okay, so is that about destiny, or more about the sort of person you are? And so your life lesson, so what you're here to learn, not necessarily what your life is going to contain. So it's not actually the exam questions ahead of time.
Oh, you just know roughly what life area this is going to be in, and then it's on the stage of your life. Something's going to come at you around dogma and emotion, intuition, emotional intelligence, and then you get to take your test and see how you do, see how much you've developed.
Okay, so you have these 12 archetypes. Does it mean you can dial up any of those qualities of the different signs?
They're in all of us, all of them.
Right, so say I'm Virgo.
Your sun is in Virgo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean I am forever going to be this nitpicking, detailed sort of person who has to research everything to the nth degree? Or could I dial up another part of me that's a little bit more sort of let's go with the flow kind of thing? And how difficult would that be if I'm so rooted in Virgo?
Yeah, so I've got your chart here just to remind me. So I believe that your ascendant is Virgo as well. Yeah, it is. So the antidote to Virgo is Pisces. They're opposite each other in the sky. So Virgo, high road, is very organized, hands-on, healer, practical, get stuff done. They want things to be done right. And then if it's dialed up too much, they're a perfectionist, and then it's too much attention to detail. But the opposite and equal of Virgo is Pisces, and Pisces is also the healer, but very energetic way, very emotionally intelligent. This is the high road of Pisces, very emotionally intelligent and goes with the flow. So that is the antidote to that sign, is that you dial up your Pisces, because it's Virgo is your soul personality. It's where your soul is developmentally, same as mine. So it's not necessarily because your sun is in Virgo, it's because that's your ego. It's because your ascendant and your descendant is Virgo Pisces. So you need to dial up that Pisces to balance out that Virgo. That's how I've done it.
Okay.
Mm.
So just taking it back to this destiny thing, is it about knowing how this person's life is going to play out, or just that this is the kind of person they are, this is how they will interact with the world, this is what they're here to learn, this is what they're here to bring, but they don't have to do any of that? And that's where you have the creative power.
Yeah. So you've got North Node. The North Node is your life purpose, and the South Node is your past life purpose. So normally what people do is they go towards their South Node up till the age of about 30, and then that life pushes them towards their North Node. So I did a reading for someone once, and his North Node was Leo. That's what he's here to do, to be a leader, loud, proud, be seen, be heard. His South Node was Aquarius. Aquarius is kind of a loner, humanitarian, someone that doesn't want to stand in the limelight. They want to be in with the crowd, helping the people. They feel things very, very emotionally. Yeah. And he was meant to leave his Aquarius behind and step into this leadership role when he was 30. He was 45 and still clinging to Leo with his Aquarius, with his fingernails. He didn't want to do that Leo stuff. It was too uncomfortable. He wanted to be down there helping people, not up here leading people that were helping the people. And so that was his choice. And I said, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be painful. You are fighting your destiny, but it's your right to do it. This is the alternative. He's like, no, I'm never going to do that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But if you don't, it's going to keep getting more difficult, and life's going to be asking you to do it, but you don't have to.
Right. So there is a destiny part of it, in terms of that's what your life purpose is. This is what you're here to do. You don't have to do it, but it's going to be like heel marks on the pavement if you don't. Yeah,
because I've got the same with mine. My North Node is Cancer and my South Node is Capricorn. Cancer is the mother and the nurturer. Capricorn is business and hard work. And of course, in this society, business and hard work is glamorized, glorified. It's what we want. We want the money and the status. And I'm here to be a mother and a carer and a nurturer and probably not work at all. So I'm very prone to overworking, because my Capricorn is there and society says I should be working hard and I should be striving, I should be achieving. And really, I'm a mom. I'm a home educating mom who loves to spend my days with my boy. And then I just do bits of work here and there, a couple of hours in the evening. That's what I'm supposed to do. Every time I go into overdrive with my work, I get sick. Because life's like, no, you're not supposed to overwork. You're meant to focus on your little boy and nurture people through your work, not be a workaholic. So it can be a difficult push and pull, but we know when we're doing it wrong because life gives us a little slap. And then we have a choice. Do I keep getting taps from the universe and banging my head against the wall? Or do I accept the permission slip that I've been given by the universe? You're a mother, you're a carer, you're a nurturer. Or with my other client, you're a leader. You will like it if you lead. Give it a go. I mean, it's a permission slip from the universe to express ourselves in these ways that society says we're not supposed to. You're not supposed to stay home and be a mom, you know? That's what society tells me. And that's actually my life purpose. That's why I'm here.
So why do we stay, if that's our life purpose, why do we stay in our South Node until our 30s?
We're learning the lesson of our South Node. So there's skills in there that we need. And we're learning the high road of it and the low road of it. So we can release the low road. So I was supposed to, up to the age of 30, be releasing the overworking, be releasing any attachment to status, but keeping with me the hard work ethic of Capricorn, the foundations, the strong foundations, the person who's going to hold space for people in a very solid way. That's what I was meant to learn. And that's really good foundations for a home in which you're going to be mothering and nurturing. So you take the skills of your South Node, learn the pitfalls and leave those behind. This is what we're supposed to. If we know astrology, this is what we're going to do. Leave that behind and then step into our North Node with these firm foundations underneath us. But if we don't know astrology, we don't do it. And we are banging our head against the wall trying to do the wrong thing all the time because we haven't got the guidebook to our life.
Okay. So astrology is the guidebook to your life.
It is, yeah. Your star chart is the map, and knowing astrology is being able to read the guidebook.
Okay. So in some spiritual circles and probably religious circles as well, they say we're supposed to forget all of who we choose to come here, and in choosing to come here or to incarnate on this earth, we choose to forget everything so that we can experience it all afresh. We forget who we are as a soul or whatever and come into the personality. Doesn't astrology sort of buck that?
I don't think so. No, I don't remember. I mean, maybe I do through astral projection, but I don't remember the world between worlds. I don't remember my previous lives. We can go into hypnotherapy and experience that if we're very lucky and work really hard, but I don't remember that in my conscious mind. It's not here. So just because I'm looking at astrology doesn't mean that I know this is real and know this is true. I just experience it as something that works. And so there is still that amnesia. I don't remember the conversations I had with my spirit guide before I came here and the souls that I've incarnated with. I don't remember them. And then this is like, the way that I see astrology is that we've got the stars above us and they move and they go through different signs. But really what they are is a reflection of what is inside me on a DNA level. That they aren't affecting us, they are reflecting what is inside of us. They are telling us what's going on inside of us. So we've been using astrology for thousands of years. The Mayans, the Babylonians, all sorts, the Egyptians. This is something that we've been using forever, even going back to the very, very earliest etchings on trees from God knows how long ago. We've been following the cycles of the moon. We've been following the movements of the stars. This is something that we are human. We are naturally curious and we notice synchronicities going on around us. And then people started really paying attention and building observatories. Like I've been to Chichen Itza in Mexico and they have my soul home. I love Mexico. So the observatory there, where they would track the stars and they would see what was going on the earth and what was going on in the sky, and figuring out what the synchronicities were. It's there for us. It's up to us whether we use it. I was thinking about this question because you did give me the questions beforehand, and I was watching my husband and my little boy. There's a game called Zelda. It's a computer game. And it's a huge world, and there's all sorts of quests and different weapons and different shields and different missions that you have to do. And you can try and do it without the guidebook, but you're gonna do things in the wrong order and miss out on achievements. You're gonna wander around aimlessly trying to find things. Or you can buy the guidebook, and that will tell you what order to do things in, where you need to get this weapon from, you know, how to get to this achievement, so that you can enjoy the full spectrum of the game and do the things that you need to do in the order that you do. And then you get to enjoy it, and you get to have the full experience rather than wander around in circles for days and give up on the game because it was too hard. And then people just, you know, disappear in real life into their addictions because they don't know why they're here. They just numb out. Life's hard. It keeps beating them over the head with the same lesson, and they don't know why.
Okay. But in this game, I'm not a game person, but in this game, if you worked out on your own how to get that weapon that you needed, would you not get more points for discovering it on your own?
No.
Oh.
No, not at all. And the thing is with life is that we don't know we're having these lessons. We just know that life's really hard and these horrible things keep happening to us, and we don't know why. Like, I can say to you, you've got a Virgo ascendant. So what this means is you need to dial up your Pisces. Now you know what to do. If you're feeling worried or you're feeling anxious, you don't get yourself worked up and end up, you know, people get sick from this sort of thing. If you know, instead of worrying, I need to dial into that Pisces energy and start to trust my intuition, maybe pray, you know, maybe there's something that you can do that is going to help you drop into the flow and trust of life, relax your emotions and see what happens. If you didn't know that, you'd just end up in a cycle of anxiety for years and years and years and years. That just sounds like masochism to me, when we could choose to learn astrology and not go through that cycle of pain. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
It sounds a bit like the faith thing, like having faith. And isn't that what we all find difficult, whether we're from spiritual circles or religious circles? It's the hardest thing when you're, I'm going to call it a test, but for want of a better expression, but when you're in the middle of something really hard that you're living through, it's so hard to just keep the faith. Like, you know, well, am I really going to get through this? Like, there's no guarantee about anything.
No.
So it's hard to have the faith sometimes. Does that make sense? Like,
it does. I've been through some really hard things in my life quite recently, in recent years. And yeah, it was a struggle to have faith. But when you are in such a deep pit, it's all you've got. That's all I had. I had to have faith, and it was a big help to me. Another big help was realizing that it was a lesson from my Pluto and I had to come into balance. I was out of balance, wildly out of balance, perfectionism, and I had to come into balance. And when I came into balance, Pluto gifted me a huge transformation in my whole life, and I'm still experiencing the after effects of that transformation as my whole external life changes to catch up with my internal landscape changing. If I didn't know that, I would still be wildly out of balance and probably making myself really sick. So yeah, faith and having an anchor I know that my Saturn life lesson is letting go of control. I know my Pluto lesson is coming into balance. That's what I got to do. If I'm struggling with life, be like, am I clinging to control here? Am I out of balance here? Am I being a perfectionist here? If the answer is yeah, I need to rein myself in. Isn't that wonderful to have that anchor? I feel like astrology is from God. You know, people say, oh, you know, you're not allowed to mess with these things. I think it's
these
a
are
gift from God.
divination tools or whatever. Yeah.
It's up there in the sky showing us what is going on inside of us. And then we go, oh, no, I can't use that. You know, I promised I wouldn't remember. It's not remembering, it's using the tools in the world around you to get the most from your experience.
Okay. Do you have my chart there?
Yeah.
What's my life lesson again?
Your Saturn, I had a look before we started, actually. Your Saturn, your life lesson is in Aries in the 8th house. So your life lesson is to, I said the Aries one earlier, actually. So your life lesson is to use your boundaries, become more assertive, especially when it comes to the big things in life. The 8th house is about birth, sex, death, rebirth. It's the big transformational things. When you're going through transformational times, which will probably happen every time you have a Saturn test, you get to decide whether you're going to be assertive and use your boundaries and stand in your power, or if you're going to go with the low road of Aries, which is keeping yourself as small as possible, repressing it, and then explosions of anger, or not so likely being aggressive and controlling and pushing people around. So your lesson is to learn how to be strong in yourself, assertive, and have boundaries, especially with big things in life.
Okay. And am I just coming out of a Saturn? Am I just coming out of a test, or?
Yeah, I think you will. No, you're about to have one. So Saturn right now, not about to have one, but in maybe 3 years. So Saturn right now is in Pisces, but it's retrograded back to 0 degrees Pisces towards the end of the year, and then it's going to start going forward again. So I think it's maybe 3. I think I told you actually, but I can't remember. I might have written it down for you. But yeah, I think it's about 3 years, maybe 4 years before you have your next one.
Damn, I'm thinking of having them every 5 minutes.
Oh dear, oh dear.
God,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm stuck in a Saturn return.
Well, learn your Saturn then, because you've got a yod. So a yod is the most powerful thing you can find in a star chart. It's known as the finger of God, and it's pointing at your Saturn. So it's saying that this is very, very difficult for you. You need to learn to let go of the Virgo low road, the perfectionism and the worry and the nitpicking and the overanalyzing. You need to get more in contact with your intuition. Your Neptune is in Scorpio, so that is really psychic. That's a really powerful placement. Very you've got the potential of being very emotionally resilient, emotionally intelligent, very intuitive. So those two things working together will help you heal that Saturn. And it's about having boundaries and standing up for yourself.
Okay. Very interesting.
It is. It's fascinating. I love astrology. I do astrology readings, and then I go downstairs, because a lot of them I do from my home, and I'll go downstairs and say to my husband, astrology blows my mind. And I say that after many, many readings, because I sit and I will tell someone about their star chart, and they can't believe the detail, the accuracy. They can't believe it. I can't believe it. I don't know anything about their lives. I'm just telling them what I see on their chart. It's incredible.
It sounds very mathematical, though. All this, like, whenever, because sometimes I listen to Pam Gregory, or used to listen to the Leo King quite a lot, and it's always, this is however many degrees north of this, or
Honestly,
sounds very complicated, the language.
It's not. I teach astrology. So teaching, most of my star chart is in the house of communication and in the sign of the teacher. My career is in the sign of the teacher. So my whole career is meant to be about psychic abilities, intuition, and teaching people. And I love teaching people astrology. And I'm just preparing for level 2. I've got a new intake of people who've done their level 1 and going on to level 2 in a few weeks, and going into angles. And it really is as simple as your 3 times table. Each sign has got 30 degrees. So you want to go from 27 degrees Aries to 27 degrees Taurus, which is the next sign. It's 30 degrees. That's your 3 times table. It's not hard. If something is square, is you just skip 3 signs, 1, 2, 3. It's added, it's counting to 3, it's counting to 6. It's not as mathematical as you would think, because I hate maths. I can't stand maths. I hate it. My brain doesn't work that way. I did okay with my GCSEs because, you know, you have to, but I don't like it at all. But really, it's your 3 times table. It's counting 1, 2, 3. It's not very complicated at all. Once you start to learn it, you start to speak the language of astrology, you realize that it isn't that complicated at all. It's just unfamiliar to us until we know what the words mean.
Yeah, because even when you say you're ascendant, you're this node, you're that node, you're the this and that, it's just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, so we have to have a language of astrology, otherwise it's too wordy. So if I was to say your ascendant is Virgo, what I mean to say is the constellation of Virgo was coming up on over the horizon at the time of your birth. That's a lot of words. That's why we learn the language of astrology. And then I say to someone who's learned with me, your ascendant is, you know, you're so Virgo, that's your ascendant. They're like, yeah, I know, I'm such a perfectionist. And so it's just taking all the unnecessary words out of it. So Mars is our drive and how we get what we want in life. Venus is our love language. It's what we want in life. And I can just say, you know, oh, you're Venus, or I can say what you want in life is this. And it's just condensing it down, and it's a different language, but it's not too difficult to learn. Yeah.
Okay. And so how do you use astrology in your life? Because you say it's a guidebook, but surely it takes up quite a bit of time to kind of keep checking where things are in the sky and what that might mean today.
Yeah, so I do that for you. If anyone wants to find me, I've got my Facebook group. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram as well, and I share daily or at least very regular astrology updates to take that work out of it for you. I look at the star chart every single day. So for me, not a lot changes. The moon changes quite a lot. Other things might start to retrograde. But it doesn't change an awful lot if you're looking at it all the time. And also it's intuitive. If you look at a star chart for today, there's going to be 100, 1,000 things you could talk about, but I'm very intuitive. So I'll be like, it feels like Mercury is important today. What's Mercury doing? What planets is it in aspect to? The most important thing about astrology isn't what's going on in the sky right now. It's what's in your natal chart. What is your life purpose? What is your life lesson? That's the important stuff. If you know what's going on in your chart, it doesn't matter if you're getting a Saturn test. Because when Saturn test comes around for you, Jacqui, it's going to say, are you being assertive and you using boundaries and standing up for yourself? And you're like, yeah, I do it every day because that's my life lesson and I'm learning it. You don't go, oh shit, I've got a test. Oh no, I failed it. You know, it's something that you build into your life. If that's your life lesson, you don't just do it every 7 years to pass your test. It's what you build into your life. If you're here to, you know, what's your life purpose is also Aries. You're a hero. You're here to share a message. You're here to lead people. You're here to be in the limelight, in the spotlight, in control. That is Aries. That is your life purpose. And that's what you're doing every single day. So it doesn't matter where the North Node is in the sky, where it is in your chart is the most important thing.
Okay.
If we integrate all the 12 signs of the zodiac embody all of them. You can do this every month. You can say, okay, I'm going to start now. The sun's in Virgo. This month, I'm going to learn or embody the high road of Virgo, and I'm going to heal that. And then the next month comes along, it's Libra. Okay, now I'm going to embody the high road of Libra. And in 12 months, you've done healing work on all the 12 signs of the zodiac.
But it sounds like it's just an iterative thing, like you just do this your whole life, basically.
You build it into your life, yeah. My life lesson is Scorpio. It's letting go of control. It's actually Scorpio and Libra. So it's releasing perfectionism, coming into balance, letting go of control. And that's how I want to live my whole life, because when I do, my life flows beautifully. And when I forget and I start to contract again and try and micromanage things, life doesn't flow so well. So why wouldn't I embody the high road of my life purpose as much as I possibly can, so that I can enjoy my life?
Okay. So when you give the daily readings, surely that can't be right for everyone who's a Virgo, for instance.
Not always. No. To understand yourself properly, you really need to learn astrology or do a natal chart reading, but it gives you a vibe. So the first page that I do is for everybody, and it's relevant to everybody. It's the main things going on in the sky. It's important. And then the other ones, I have a look and I see what is in aspect to each of these signs. And this is probably what's going on for you. But sometimes you'll read it and think, no, that's not relevant for me today. But if you're looking at horoscopes, you're best looking at your ascendant, your moon sign, and your sun sign. All those three things. So for you, your ascendant and your sun is...
Hang on.
Virgo. Bringing up your chat again. And your moon is Virgo. Your moon is Leo.
Okay.
So you'd be looking at Leo and Virgo.
So and what was the third thing?
Your ascendant and your sun is Virgo. Your moon is Leo.
Okay. And so what does that mean? What does my moon in Leo mean?
This is your nurturing style. So this is how you were nurtured, and this is how you nurture. Sometimes we weren't nurtured in the high road of it. So Leo is the leader. Leo wants to be seen. Leo wants to be heard. I have a Leo moon. We usually embody our moon sign up until the age of 7 or 8. That's our dominant personality. I danced around the house all dressed up like Cyndi Lauper. I'd have like pigtails and rah-rah skirts and neon shoelaces that didn't match. I was bright, I was colorful, I was loud. That's your Leo moon. So you encourage people to put themselves out there, to be seen, to be heard. You want them to perform and be in their brilliance. Like, that's how you nurture. That's your moon sign. And it's in the 11th house, I think, like me. Yeah, so it's community. That's what you do. You nurture your friends. You nurture your community in that way.
That I do. Yeah, definitely. So you're intuitive as well. So I think although you do the astrology, do you do card reading along with the natal chart, or is that something separate?
Sometimes. So I'm primarily an astrology teacher, but if people come to me for a reading in this space, I will do it. One of my favorite readings to do is a focused astrology reading on your life purpose. It's called the Destiny Key. And I look at key parts of your star chart to discover what your life purpose is, your life lesson, your childhood wound, what you're here to embody, like be seen as in your career. And there's sort of, well, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 different components to it. So I do the Destiny Key astrology reading, and then I pull some tarot cards at the end for depth. Anything that I've missed in the reading, anything that's not, any of the detail that I haven't included, I pull some tarot cards, and then we go a little bit deeper with it as well. So yeah, it's Astro Tarot. It's brilliant. I love combining them, because they're all aspects of channeling, really. Sometimes I'll be giving an astrology reading and I'll be talking, but my frontal sort of lobe isn't, it's my subconscious mind. I'm channeling information, And then I stop and I sort of come out of that space, that intuitive space, and I say, did that make sense? Because I don't really know what I just said. And they're like, oh my God, yeah, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Brilliant, thank you. Oh, okay. So to me, it's channeling this information. And we have all these different tools that we can do it with. Astrology is one, tarot is another. In the past, I've done coaching, like one-to-one coaching, to help people through their shadow, through their trauma. So I've included hypnotherapy in there as well, and subconscious reprogramming, similar to Joe Dispenza, that sort of thing as well. So yeah, I've got loads. I'm predominantly Sagittarius. So Sagittarius loves to learn all these different things and then weave them together and then teach them to people in different ways. So yeah, I've got all these different skills.
So what would you say to people who feel that all of these things are inappropriate, whether it's card reading or astrology or any of it, that you can't be connecting with anything good for that information to come through?
It's not for them. This is for me. It's not for them. Go find someone else to work with. I know the energies that I work with. I know that they feel good. I know that they feel pure. If this isn't for them, they find another path. If they're unhappy with what I'm doing, they're putting their nose in my business. I'm helping people. I help people every day through my intuition. And I don't often use my cards anymore, but when I do, I am really helping people. And the energies that I work with, they don't feel low vibe. They don't feel like they're sucking life out of me. I can see energy. I can feel energy. I know who I'm working with and it feels good. And if it didn't, I'd stop. But if people say that to me, then it's not for them. Go find your own way.
Yeah. And how would I develop my intuition more?
So learning to trust life is very important. I feel it's really important for us to be aware of what we are thinking. If we're in a state of overthinking or worrying about something, we're not going to be in contact with our intuition. So are we on repeat? Worry, 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 worry. So be aware of our thoughts. Be aware of the beliefs that are behind those thoughts, the stories and the programs that are behind those thoughts, and start to heal them. If we believe this and it's worrying us, what trauma memory is that related to? Go look at that, go heal that. Secondly, meditate, breath work. I've got a lovely game that I used to play. I still do, actually, without thinking. If you want to practice using your intuition, obviously on a quiet road, not a busy one, if you're driving through the country and you're coming up to a junction and you're going to have to either carry on rolling or you're going to have to stop. Of course, if there's a car coming, you're going to stop. But am I going to be in first gear or second gear? Am I going to be first gear to stop, second gear to carry on rolling? And I'm still looking. And if I think it's second gear and it's not, I'm not going to come close to having a crash. And that's me just tapping into my intuition and seeing. And it's a really good way of understanding what it sounds like. If you keep getting it wrong, then the signal that you're getting is a no and you're hearing it as a yes. So it is your brain trying to override your heart, because that's where the messages come to.
Yeah.
So yeah, get a deck of tarot cards or angel cards and pull one every day. See what comes through for you. You can just sit and meditate and call in your guides and see what comes along. If you believe in Jesus and God like I do, you can sit and you can channel the Jesus energy. It's lovely, really healing, really, really healing. But I think that as long as our brain is in overdrive, it's going to override our heart.
Yeah.
So it's trying to figure out the thoughts, the beliefs, the behaviors that are going on, our habits that are going on that are making us overthink things and worry things, and heal what's under that. And all the time meditating so that we can rewire the subconscious mind, rewire the conscious mind so that it doesn't do that anymore.
Excellent. I don't know how long we've been going on for, so
I don't know.
but you were talking about hypnotherapy, card readings, obviously the astrology. What do you offer now?
I'm an astrology teacher.
Right.
I have Astrology Club. Astrology Club is mainly a membership group where you can join a Facebook group, and every week we have a class, and every week we dive deep into one sign or one house or one planet, and we look at it really deep. And we have a look at the people in the group, we have a look at their charts and see what is the story of their Saturn or their North Node or whatever it might be. And then I also offer level 1 astrology, which is basic astrology. Anybody can do this. You can come in with no astrology knowledge at all. And I teach you the 12 archetypes of the zodiac, the 13 main astrological bodies like planets, the 12 houses, then how to read one house on your star chart as a standalone. And then if you love that, and you go away and you're reading the star charts for your friends and your family and handing out permission slips to everybody and saying, this is brilliant, do this is brilliant, do that. And teaching everybody, you can come back and do level 2. So I do 2 level 1s a year and 1 level 2, because level 2 isn't for everybody. This is deep, deep, deep. And then we look at the angles, we look at the transits, we look at the states. It's much more deep. And you're going in there with that foundational knowledge because you've done your level 1 already. You understand the language of astrology, and then we go deeper with those foundations. And that's what I do. Astrology Club feels so good. It's having a community of people who are all as astro geeky as you, and in level 1 it's beginners just like you are, and learning how to speak the language of astrology so that you know when your Saturn life lesson is coming along, you know what you need to stop doing in life, where you can stop banging yourself over the head with the same lesson, learn it, and then start to step into your purpose then and really thrive in your life. And that's why I love it. We really go deep with all of it so you understand why you're here and what you need to stop doing so that you can do what you're here to do.
Okay. And so the level 1, how long is that for?
6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So the membership group is all the time. Next level 1 is coming up at the beginning of October. So that's beginning of October till the middle of November. For anyone who lives locally to me, which is the Bedfordshire area, I'm actually doing something level 1 plus the Destiny Key. And that's over the winter. That's 1 weekend a month in person in Bedfordshire for 5 months over the winter. That's really exciting. That's going to be really cool. That's a new one for me. And yeah, the level 1, the new intake is beginning of October, and that's 6 weeks. It's going to be brilliant.
So is there a step qualification for astrologers?
No. I mean, I issue a certificate once you complete it with me, but there isn't a certificate that you have to do astrology or teach astrology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's loads of courses you could do. Of course, you could go onto sort of online courses and get a certificate.
So circling back round then, from what you just said, it sounds like the whole point of it is to find what you're supposed to be here for, what you're supposed to be doing, and do it. Is that?
It is. It's also giving you permission slips for your life and saying, you know, I get quite anxious and attention to detail. And I say, here's a permission slip. Your sun and ascendant is Virgo. It's okay. It's just who you are. So it's learning to love ourselves for who we are, learning to love all the different aspects of ourselves. Sometimes people start doing the course and they say, oh, I hate Geminis. And then I discover that their descendant, they're part of their soul personality is Gemini. And I'm like, interesting. So then it's starting to understand why you don't like that sign and start to integrate it back in, because they're all in us. So if you don't like that sign, you're pushing that energy away. You're pushing an aspect of yourself away. So it's learning all the different parts of ourselves, integrating them back in, choosing the high road for all of them in time, learning what our life lesson is, stop beating ourselves over the head and learn it. And then life is going to start flowing in your favor. And then you're able to step into your purpose and embody why you are here and get so much more joy out of life. So that's what astrology is to me, a goodie bag of permission slips.
Yeah, which sounds nothing like fortune telling or anything like that.
No, people like to have a yearly reading where I tell them the transits and what's happening, and they're great and they're very accurate. But to me, let's just look at your natal chart. You don't need to know what's coming. If you learn your Saturn, you know, if you have a look at what signs you don't like and start healing and embodying them, you don't even need to know what's around the corner, because you're going to be in balance and in love with yourself and in a really strong place.
Why do you think we have this deep wanting to know what's coming? Like, is that fear, maybe?
That's exactly what
The
I was
unknown.
going to say. Fear. We're trying to control it because we're in fear. Yeah. We've been programmed to be in fear for so many years as a world, haven't we? As a society. Yeah, I think it's fear.
Okay. So where can people find you? I am going to put a description in the under the video, but where can people find you if they want to learn about astrology?
Thank you. So I have a Facebook group where I share a daily horoscope, which is Ahimsa Grace Astrologer. You can also follow me, my profile on Facebook. I often share videos on there as well, astrology readings, tarot pulls, quick reels of tarot pulls, and that's just Ahimsa Grace. You can find me, it's always Ahimsa Grace on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. And if you want to go to my website, you can sign up for the wait list for the Astrology Club Level 1 or join the Astrology Club membership group. That's just ahimsagrace.com.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, so before we close, are there any sort of key astrological things going on at the moment that we should be aware of?
So many. Oh my God. So retrograde, you know, people talk about Mercury retrograde and they don't really know what it is, but they go, oh, don't travel, your tech might break. They're right. They're right, by the way. I've been having tech issues. So all the planets retrograde, and that means they appear to be moving backwards in the sky. That's what a retrograde means. And it happens to all the planets, not the sun and the moon, but all the other ones. Right now, we've got Mercury, Venus, Jupiter very soon, Uranus very, very soon, Neptune, Pluto. So all apart from Mars, within the week, everything's going to be retrograde apart from Mars. And a retrograde means that it's time to go within. It's time to reflect. It's not a time for moving forward. It's a time to reflect on what we want in life, on how we communicate, on how we can bring in some more structure. It's reflection time. And so people want to move forward all the time in our society. Retrograde is time for not moving forward very much. So that is going on. It's called retrograde season and it's really hitting its peak right now. That's the main thing going on.
So if you're already doing stuff, you're already in the middle of something, you can't
okay.
the retrograde.
You can and you can't. So you make sure you plan everything properly. You make sure that everything is planned well. And then be prepared for things to go wrong. Like, for example, today, my computer that I'm using is about to give up forever. And I reached out to you today and I said, it's okay. If it does, I'll switch to my phone. I've got a backup plan and I've ordered a new one to arrive tomorrow. It's Mercury retrograde and technology breaks in Mercury retrograde. My computer's been on its last legs for a while. So I've put these things in place. So I didn't cancel our chat because it's Mercury retrograde, but I'm like, I understand Mercury. I know what's going on. So I put these things in place. And then if it goes wrong, it's okay. So have a backup plan when it comes to Mercury. I've got my Astrology Club level 2 in a couple of weeks. I've got level 1 in a couple of months. I've not stopped, but I've planned these things well. And I'm not rushing into new projects. I'm not saying, oh, I've had this great idea during retrograde season. I'm going to fly forward with it and not really plan it. It's going to be amazing. It's probably not going to work, but you will learn a lesson or two from it.
How long are all these retrogrades? Because you can't sort of stop life though, can you? So say, that's what I mean. Like, how can you live your life according to that? So like, what if a great opportunity comes up now, but
Take
you
it
say
tentatively.
all the planets are retrograde? No, I better not. But it feels like,
No, take it tentatively. Expect things to go wrong. Take it step by step. You know, you're aware it's retrograde season. Every Astrology Club level 1 I've launched, I've not looked at the retrogrades, and it's always started during retrograde season. I always have something go wrong. It's okay. You can do it, but I wouldn't throw myself into something without planning it through during retrograde season. Other times I might get away with it, but not retrograde season. And if I do, then I'll learn my lesson.
here I am thinking about all the things I've signed up for and all the things I'm doing retrograde.
So retrograde season is really hitting its peak now. I've got all the retrogrades on the calendar in front of me, but in this light I can't really see. I think it's sort of the beginning of November. It starts to ease up again. Saturn goes direct at the beginning of November, and then they will start to. And by the end of the year, most of them, I think, if not all of them, are direct again. It's scared you now.
Well, anything else you wanted to cover off that you wanted to say that I haven't even asked you about? Or
no, I don't think so. No, just learn astrology, guys. It is the absolute best tool for understanding yourself, loving yourself. I learned to read astrology. I started to when I was a young mom. Not, I wasn't young, my baby was. I was in my mid-30s. And he needed contact naps, and he was breastfed. And so I started to learn astrology because I had nothing else to do. I was bored out of my mind. So yeah, I've got a lady who signed up for level 1 in October, and she is gonna be giving birth in September. And she's signed up knowing full well, because she's had kids before, that she's going to be bored. So she's signed up for it. I made sure, you know, and she's definitely certain. And so, yeah, it doesn't matter where you are in life. It's a great tool for understanding yourself, understanding other people, and learning to love yourself and navigate your life. And it's just the best tool. So, yeah, I highly recommend people learn astrology because it's just the best.
thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Jacqui.
I've still probably got tons more questions that come up, because every time someone answers, that's what my mind is like. Every time someone answers a question, I go, I think, oh, okay. Yeah, but so yeah.
Well, you can have me back another time if you've got a load of them.
Yeah.
We can do this all over again.
No, that's been lovely. That's been absolutely lovely. Please do. I'm going to stop the recording now, but don't go away, because we can just sort of quickly say our goodbyes and everything off camera.
Yes, thank you, Jacqui.
No, thanks everyone. I'm going to put all of Ahimsa's details in the YouTube description summary when I upload this video, so you will still be able to find her if you didn't catch it during the talk. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. I'm still fascinated, still loads more to learn on astrology, but I'll wait till after the retrogrades. Okay, take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.